Gentlemen, and welcome here as we prepare for race number 11 of the TNR Master Millwright Big Block Series. Nighttime racing is the right time when you're dirt track racing in Illinois as we get set to race here at Fairbury Speedway, full name the Fairbury American Legion Speedway. We're getting ready for our qualifying races that will set us up for our main event, 35 laps here at this short track. And it is short in every sense of the word. Coming into the night, I had no prior knowledge of this dirt track, and you don't really have to be a quick study to figure out it's small. It is a quarter of a mile in length. It is one of the, if not the shortest track that these drivers are going to be tackling on the schedule. And oh yeah, by the way, it just happens to be the next to last race of the season. So these drivers are going to have their hands full here tonight. So we've got a pretty sizable field here this evening. I believe 16 drivers are scheduled to take the green flag in tonight's main event. We set them up here for our first heat race of the evening as James Allen is going to line up on point alongside of Jason Freeman. Nice to see Freeman back in the field. We didn't see him last week at Limaland. Grant Wesley is going to be on the inside of row 2 with Austin Allen, so both of the Allens in this first heat. Kenneth Drake second in points, and Billy Thornton will complete the 6 that will take part in this first heat here this evening. Now, as these drivers get set for the 2 pace laps around here before going green for this heat race, this qualifying race, obviously, after last week, seeing Bobby Trapper go to victory lane for the 2nd time back-to-back and 5th time overall at Limaland Motorsports Park, even though next week when we go to the dirt track at Charlotte for the finale and it's a double points race, I think it's safe to say that Bobby Trapper has this championship locked up. 93 points over Kenneth Drake coming into tonight's festivities, and not only is Bobby Trapper finding victory lane, but he's also racking up a lot of points during the heats that he has taken part in the last couple of weeks as well, bettering Kenneth Drake by 1 or 2 positions. So he just continues to pull away, and I know that there's double points next week, but I just think at this point in time, mathematically, it's impossible for anybody to be able to take that championship crown away from Bobby Trapper. But we'll see what happens here tonight at Fairbury as the pace truck hits pit lane and green flag is out. 10-lap shootout here to determine where these 6 drivers will be in the main event. And already we're beating and banging as Freeman on the top side and Allen on the inside. Well, actually the middle line there going through that corner. We're leaning on each other. Grant Wesley says thank you very much. He's going to go to the front. Maybe not. Here comes to the inside Jason Freeman looking for that top position. James Allen's going to slot into 3rd in front of Austin Allen. Billy Thornton, that orange machine. Oh, got Freeman into the wall, and he is up and over. That's one thing we're going to see here tonight is these walls, they do not give you a nice big cuddly hug. If your right sides hit them, they will grab you, and they will flip you over. It looks like the caution is going to come out for that flip as Grant Wesley was entering into the vicinity of the upside-down machine. There was a contact actually back there for a second between Billy Thornton and James Allen. It is a frozen field, and I don't know which of the 2 was actually in second place at the time. Looks like it was the 47. So Wesley's going to get this this caution flag. Let's go back and see what happened to Jason Freeman. And like I said, this is going to be a running tally all night long that it'll be kind of like a broken record. We'll be constantly saying this. You run the car too high, the outside wall is going to grab you. Run the car too low, there are tires down there in the corners of 1, 2, 3, and 4 that are going to get you. And boy, Jason Freeman, a wild ride there. Actually hit the entrance to pit road wall there near the entrance of turn 1. And that car never got back on all 4 wheels. A tough break there for Jason Freeman. I guess the good news is it took place in a heat race. So it's not in the main event where he would have to try and mount a comeback. He still will take part in the main event, but may not have an optimal qualifying position. So 4 laps completed here as the green flag back in the air. We're about to be halfway through this first heat race. Wesley leads them into turn 1. Allen in second. Battle right now is going to be a 3-way battle for 3rd. And now we got another car up and on top of the wall. That's James Allen in the 47. His car this time, though, does come down on all 4 wheels. But, man, that wall on the front straightaway, actually the back straightaway, really playing havoc with a number of drivers. Let's go back and see what happened to the pole sitter for this first heat. And I think it's going to be a case of deja vu of what we saw happen with Jason Freeman. Just having the car drift up a little too high, and it's going to be 16 drivers scheduled to take the green flag later on in the 35-lap main event. There's going to be less room to work with than there is now, and that was single file. That was James Allen with nobody to his inside, nobody to his outside. Just couldn't make it off of turn 2, and those right side tires grabbed the wall once again. And even more so here with these big block cars, is that going to happen because the way that these cars are built, those right side tires are further exposed out of the sheet metal on the side of these race cars to help them with the turning capabilities through the corners. And so with them sticking out as far as they are, it doesn't take much for them to actually be the first thing to make contact with the outside wall, as Wesley is gone. Thornton and Drake, ooh, look at Drake. That's razor's edge down the inside line, as he was awfully close to hitting those tires with the left front of his machine, but he moves into third place behind Thornton, and there's contact back there between the Allens. Austin sending James up the track, or actually vice versa. It was the 47 of James on the inside, Austin on the top side there. Drake's going to jump up to the outside line now on Billy Thornton in a battle for second place, and this is going on about 10 car lengths behind Grant Wesley. Oh, Thornton! Sideswipe there by Kenneth Drake, and Austin Allen's going to slide in, and that means that we're going to have ourselves an overtime green-white checkered in this first heat. I think that might be the first time this season that one of our heat races is going to end with at least one lap over regulation. Let's go back and see what happened here. I think there was just some slight contact, a bit of a side swipe from Drake into Thornton, and that was enough to just send the 11 completely around. Watch right here. Going down this corner, watch how Drake tries to cut it in. Thornton already going to be sideways going to the corner anyway, and that just completes it, and nowhere for Austin Allen in the 27 to be able to go as he slides into the 11 car. Again, all of these incidents taking place during the heat, so it makes you wonder what these drivers are in for when they get ready for the 35-lap main event. This is just to set the starting lineup, the full official starting lineup for the 35-lapper later on, as Wesley's going to see the green flag this time by, and it will be a 2-lap shootout. Grant Wesley was fastest in practice. He was also fastest in qualifying, and trying to pick up 5 bonus points here with winning the first heat. Kenneth Drake tried to time that jump, couldn't quite do it, as this time around it will be the white flag. Battle's going to be for third. James Allen on the top, Billy Thornton on the bottom. Wesley has received the white flag, as Allen's going to take the third spot for the time being. Oh, and now he's going to get the wall. Rode the wall for a brief moment. Thornton's now going to move up to third, and Grant Wesley's going to come around, and he'll see the checkered flag. Wesley with the win. Drake crosses in second. Thornton, I believe, got third. And then we had a spun out car there. I think that James Allen did get the 4th position, followed by Austin Allen in 5th. Well, that was eventful. And now we're going to rack them up, do it again here for the second heat race. 3 cautions in that first heat race, by the way. I believe that might be the most cautions in a heat race so far this season as well. So we're seeing a few firsts here tonight at this very small Fairbury Speedway, as Ethan Fisher will be on the pole position for the second heat. Seth Zacharias making his second start in the year. He'll be alongside of him. Bobby Trapper, the points leader, lines up third. Bobby Puckett alongside him 4th. And then the final row will have Mike Tellier and Garrett Gleason, as Ethan Fisher having a little bit of connection problems here at the initial start. Should see the iRacing pace truck make the left-hand turn towards the infield here, and we'll get ready to turn them loose for another 10 laps of racing. So Kenneth Drake finished second. Let's make note of that in the first heat. So Bobby Trapper, trying to keep the 71 at bay, needs to finish second or better here in this heat race to counter the 4 bonus points that Drake would have gotten in heat 1. 3 wide, 4 wide off of turn number 2, and it's Seth Zacharias around the extreme outside line that's going to take the point. Bobby Trapper on the inside of Ethan Fisher now for second place. Can't quite clear him just yet. He'll try again into turn 3. Topside's going to be the way to go. That's for sure here tonight. right up there against that wall. But again, as we saw earlier on in the case of two drivers back in the first heat, that outside wall, if you hit it just wrong, it's going to eat you up. So, you know, it's a rock and a hard place situation for these drivers here tonight. Lap 4 about to be completed. Lap 5 goes on the board. Top 3 all nose to tail. As now Ethan Fisher going to try about a half groove lower through 1 and 2 to make up some ground on Seth Zacharias. Nothing doing there. Bobby Trapper still right there. It's a long ways back to Bobby Puckett in 4th. And right now Mike Tellier holds on to the 5th position, the last spot that in this heat would get points. Garrett Gleason trying to battle with him for that position. Those two in pretty close proximity. So this is for that final heat point, if you will, for the 5th place finishing position. Bobby Puckett's on an island all his own. Look at that. Nobody in front, nobody behind. He's got about maybe 10 car lengths up to Bobby Trapper and about maybe 20 car lengths back to Mike Tellier. Battle might be for 2nd place here as we're closing in on 2 laps to go. Maybe for the lead now as Ethan Fisher got a nice 3 and 4. Trapper, ooh, he tried there. Tried to get the power down out of turn 2. Now he'll go back to the inside line. Wow, look how that car, did you see how that car was up on 2 wheels? My goodness, he drove that deep into the corner and nearly flipped the car over for his efforts. Fisher dive bombs into the inside here on Zacharias on the final lap. Coming to the checkers. Zacharias by half a car length going to hang on. Fisher 2nd, Trapper 3rd. Puckett and Tellier are going to finish out the rest of the drivers that would get points, and Garrett Gleason was 6th. So Kenneth Drake, he will gain at least 1 point on Bobby Trapper as far as the heat points are concerned, but, and again, that's 1 point. That's a drop of water in the ocean of a gap that Bobby Trapper's been able to build up of 93 points coming into this race. Heat number 3 about to be underway here. As Zane Burke Jr. and Brian Rubel, they're going to be the front row. Don MacArthur, former winner, in 3rd. Thomas Oleski, 4th. And Tony Lucarelli is going to complete the remainder of this 3rd and final heat. Lucarelli usually very lucky in terms of the draw of starting track position in the heats, but not so here tonight. Going to have to do it shotgun from the 5th position. Just to give an idea here as these drivers get ready to go green of just how much of a gap Bobby Trapper's been able to build up. We talked about the 93 points between himself and Kenneth Drake. Well, the rest of the competition's even further back. 148 points back to Bobby Puckett, who moved up to 3rd in points after Lima Land last week. 158 points over Jason Freeman, who missed last week, and Billy Thornton, who are right now in a tie for the 4th position. So that just shows how dominant Bobby Trapper has been this season. Green flag gonna fly. Zane Burke Jr. did not get a good jump. Ryan Rubel did, and he is going to say, thank you, I'm going to go to the front and leave them to battle for 2nd place. I don't know if the 29 spun the tires or what, but he was definitely caught napping. He's going to drop all the way back to 4th place. That's going to leave Don MacArthur and Thomas Oleski to battle for 2nd, about 5 car lengths behind Brian Rubel, who, to my knowledge, no, Brian Rubel has not won a heat race this season. Talk about a night of firsts. First time that we ended up having 3 cautions in a heat race. That was back in Heat 1. First time we had a heat go into overtime this season. That was back in Heat 1, and we might be looking at Brian Rubel getting his very first heat win here this season. If he can hold off Don MacArthur and Thomas Oleski, who right at the moment seem more interested in each other in this battle for 2nd place. Don MacArthur, former winner this season, back at Lernerville. Now he has shaken Oleski. He'll hold the 2nd position and now try to see if he can reel in the 4 of Brian Rubel to try and take this heat victory. 4 laps to go. He's got plenty of time. He's definitely got the speed right now as well. That last time by, he was a full half-second faster than Brian Rubel. But Rubel has the line that Don MacArthur wants to run right up there against the wall. So MacArthur's going to have to try something different if he's going to get around Rubel for this victory. But he is right there, knocking on the door. Caution is out. And I believe it must have been for the 41 of Tony Lucarelli. Caution's going to fly here. Again, remember, that we do not run the caution laps here in the heats or in the main event, so it will still be 2 laps to go when these drivers do get back green. Let's see what happened to Lucarelli. Oh, wow. We talk about how the wall's going to get you if you run too high. I mentioned the tires will get you if you run too low. That was the case for Lucarelli here through 3 and 4. Car just kind of steps out from underneath him, and look at that. Tony Hawkin over one of those tires there in the middle of 1 and 2. Kept the thing going, though, so he should be fine. Probably not the caution that Brian Rubel wanted to see, as he seemed to have things pretty well in hand over Don MacArthur. And now MacArthur, along with Oleski and Burke Jr., they're going to have another shot at this victory. It's going to be an inbounds green-white checkered, if you will. A 2-lap shootout here as Rubel back up through the gears. Opened a little daylight between himself and Don MacArthur by about a car length and a half. MacArthur closes it back up, though, through 1 and 2. I think MacArthur's going to have to try a dive bomb move here, potentially, on this final lap. But will he do it in 1 and 2 or 3 and 4? Rubel runs a little low defensive, then up to the wall to block MacArthur. MacArthur's going to have to drive it deep down here into 3, and that's exactly what he's going to do. But can he get the power down? Rubel, MacArthur off the corner. Rubel's going to get the advantage, and he is going to get his first heat win. MacArthur second, Oleski third, Lucarelli in 4th, and Zane Burke Jr. will finish it in 5th. And based off of the luck of the, I don't know how it's configured, but I guess the luck of the finishing position, if you will, Thomas Oleski, who finished 3rd in that last heat, he's going to be your pole sitter now for tonight's 35-lap main event. Bobby Trapper is going to have starting track position here tonight as well. He'll be on the outside of the front row. Billy Thornton and Don MacArthur will make up row 2. Ethan Fisher completes the top 5 with Kenneth Drake in 6th. Brian Rubel and Seth Zacharias, they're going to be 7th and 8th. Grant Wesley, James Allen in row 5. Bobby Puckett and Tony Lucarelli in row 6. 13th place will be Austin Allen, Mike Tellier at 14th, Zane Burke Jr. in 15th, and bringing up the 16th and 17th positions, Jason Freeman and Garrett Gleason. So 35 laps of racing here tonight. Again, as mentioned, caution laps will not count. We had a total of 4 cautions in those 3 qualifying heats. 3 in heat number 1, 1 in heat number 3. Heat number 2 went completely caution-free. And it's going to be interesting to see just exactly what type of a race we're in for here when you've put all 17 cars onto the racetrack here in what is a very limited space quarter-mile racetrack. Well, Bobby Trapper's got the advantage over Kenneth Drake and the rest of the competition in terms of starting track position, as he's on the outside of the front row. And we've seen in the heat races that the car on the inside, the pole sitter for all the heats, really did not get going. The outside line driver on the front row did. We'll see if that's going to be the case here with Trapper starting P2. Pace cars hit pit road. Green flag's out. We're racing under the lights at Fairbury in the main event. Oleski got himself a good jump. Trapper still to his outside, though. And Billy Thornton has thoughts about 3 wide on that inside line. Trapper's going to get the advantage, though. Oleski's got a slap behind him in 2nd. And look at these guys back here. Look at this racing. 3 wide, 4 wide for an occasion. Now we're 3 wide, 2 rows deep. Oh, Puckett up in front of Drake. Drake into Allen. We're 3 wide, 3 rows deep. 4 wide for a brief moment again. I thought I said this place wasn't spacious. They're making me out to be a liar. Wow, hang on to it, James. James Allen and Tony Lucarelli, some contact. Now Lucarelli's going to get into somebody there, and he's going to spin it around. He might have, I think, tagged the 42 of Allen, and now they're almost wrecking again there out of turn 4, trying to come back to the caution flag, but Lucarelli was the one that I saw spinning. And Lucarelli's going to bring out this first caution of the day. Let's go back and see what happened to him. Looked like he just had his hands full. Like he was trying to keep that thing going and may have over countersteered just the least little bit. I want to look here because I mentioned that there was some prior contact right here between James Allen and Lucarelli. And, It's a dirt track, so it's so difficult to know if there's payback or not, or if a driver's just really trying to hang on to their race car, but there was that previous contact between the 47 and the 41, and the 41 drives up into the driver's side door of the 47. Might have been a little bit of a message sent there. Whatever the case, both drivers are going to be able to continue on as the green flag is back in the air. My goodness, they don't waste any time here getting them back to green flag racing. As Trapper leads them. Oh, someone got the wall. Was that Fisher in the 72? That car almost flipped over as the right sides almost gripped the outside wall. Double wide behind them with Billy Thornton and Brian Rubel down the inside. Don MacArthur and Bobby Puckett are the two cars on the top side of those side-by-side battles for 4th and 6th. And that inside light, there's just nothing there. Billy Thornton was up in 4th place, and just like that, in a matter of a couple of corners, whoa, Zacharias out of shape back there. But all of a sudden, Thornton's back to 6th. Seth Zacharias almost looped it around, keeps it going. Right now, P12. There's second at points, Kenneth Drake. Whoa, caution's out. And I believe it was Mike Tellier. And he's already onto pit road, which in this case is pretty much the infield. There is no pit road here. Let's go back and see what happened to Mike, who I believe was running towards the back anyway. And oh yeah, it just gets away from him. This was into 1 and 2. Almost similar to what happened to Lucarelli back in the 3rd heat race, and I think he might have hit a jersey barrier there, a concrete jersey barrier with the front end of his machine, so I think that's why he actually had his car teleported to pit road. It's a tough break there for Mike, as he's already fallen a lap down to the race leaders and still sits in the infield. He'll undoubtedly fall a second lap down right here. And I don't know if he'll have time to be able to get back into this thing or not. Bobby Trapper and Thomas Oleski going to lead us back to green. No surprise that Trapper chooses the outside line for the restart. Ethan Fisher, Don MacArthur, and Bobby Puckett going to be the top 5 when we go back green. Trapper back up through the gears. Battle's going to be all the way back there around the 5th, 6th position. My goodness, James Allen was out of shape. Brian Rubel's in the middle. We 4 wide there. Kenneth Drake thought about it, along with Bobby Puckett. Ethan Fisher just up ahead there as well. A lot of white machines there from a front glance, so it's hard to tell until they swing their back ends around to show you the side of their race cars. Who's who? As Allen went into the infield, I think he took Bobby Puckett along with him, but I think they all kept it going. So no caution's going to come out. Yeah, Allen and Puckett still continue on. Trapper pulling away, however. Look at the dust kicked up there. How do you see under the lights here going into turn 1? Just a dust cloud there. Let's drop back to the side-by-side battling. That's where you find Kenneth Drake, Brian Rubel, Jason Freeman all trying to work there. Jason Freeman, I believe, has picked up the most spots since the start of this race. Freeman started all the way back in 16th and now battling with Seth Zacharias for 8th. So he's at least made his way halfway up the grid. Speaking of making his way up the wall went Austin Allen in the 27, but he hung on to it. Drake continuing that inside line charge, trying to get to the inside of Billy Thornton, nothing doing. Freeman and Zacharias continue their side-by-side battle, and that's bringing Grant Wesley into the picture. You know, it's interesting because I was looking at Grant Wesley. I know that he runs in another league on Friday nights that actually ran here at Fairbury last Friday. Well, I'll stop talking about him. Well, hang on to it, Grant. Wow. That was a roller coaster of events right there. But they ran Fairbury, and Grant Wesley finished last. Yet he showed a lot of speed here tonight in practice and qualifying. Right now, mired all the way back in the 13th position, however, as that a little bit of bumping there between Seth Zacharias and Bobby Puckett. All this battling's going on just outside of the top 10. Oh, we got a car up in the wall. Oh, and that's Brian Rubel getting a shot from behind by Seth Zacharias as well. He still keeps it straight, however. This is where all the fun is. Up here at the front, all these guys have gotten themselves fairly settled out. And now it starts to get interesting, though. Whoa, Lucarelli into the infield. Oh, did he just hit the light post? I think Lucarelli just hit a light post. I'm pretty sure he hit a light post. He's had to teleport to his stall, but I think he hit the base of one of the infield lights. And this is lap traffic, slow traffic in the way of race leader Bobby Trapper. I mentioned this track is small. It's the smallest track on the schedule here for the Master Millwright Big Block Series, and that means that the tail end of the field is going to get reeled in very, very quickly. Bobby Trapper, Don MacArthur are going to have to cut their way through. Zaneberg Jr. going to go a lap down, and remember all that fun we were looking at towards the outside of the top 10? Yeah, that's about maybe 7 car lengths ahead of Bobby Trapper right now. He's going to have to deal with that in just maybe about 2 or 3 laps. Oh, we got a flip right in front of him. Seth Zacharias is one of them. The other is Bobby Puckett in the 40. That's going to bring out a caution. Third one of the night, closing in on 10 laps to go. Wow. Well, do I have time? Let's find out. Do I have enough time to go back and see what happened to the 41 of Lucarelli and then be able to see what actually brought out the caution? Here's the Lucarelli incident. Looks very similar to what happened to him in the third heat, and oh, I thought he hit the light base, but no, he didn't. He missed it. Oh, good on him. Now let's take a look and see what sent the 40 car up and on his lid. Contact between himself, Seth Zacharias, and I think you had Grant Wesley in the mix of this one too. Watch up ahead, the blue machine of Zacharias into the wall. All that momentum lost. Puckett can't avoid him, and Grant Wesley gets into the 40, flips him up and onto his lid. And that was your race leaders all filing their way through with drivers stopped on left and right. So talk about a heart-wrenching moment, and Bobby Puckett has actually yet to get his car flipped back upside or right side up. He's still sitting in the middle of the track. Now he teleports the car to pit road. Huh. Maybe he was hoping for a good Samaritan out there, but he didn't get it. So Zaneberg Jr.'s a lap down. Bobby Puckett's now a lap down. Tony Lucarelli's out of this race. Garrett Gleason on pit lane, 8 laps down, and Mike Tellier, 16 laps down on pit road as well. So that leaves us with 12 drivers to finish this one out. 10 laps to go, green flag back in the air, and we're already 3 and 4 wide back there in the middle of the pack. Someone got way out of shape. I think that was Austin Allen in the 27, and now they're all stacking up. Holy cow, what's happening out of turn 2? We got another flipper. That's Oleski in the 22 machine. And now he's breakdancing. Wow. That was a stack up and a half. There's just no other way to call that. I mean, how did that even start? I don't even know who it was that got out of shape or slowed up or what. Was it Billy Thornton in the 11? Let's see here. Yeah, the 11 car just really slowed on the top, and then everyone flies in. 47 caught some air, 22 goes around. What was going on with the 11 car? Did he just almost lose it? Was it coming around on him? Here it is again. Oh, yeah, some contact from behind, courtesy of Kenneth Drake. His car was spinning out, and while he was on the brakes trying to save it, everybody else didn't get the memo, and they just started running each other over, so that's what happened there. Now we're going to single file restarts, it looks like, as, well, it's not going to stop them from going double wide before the start-finish line. Trapper's gone. Billy Thornton and Don MacArthur, they were side-by-side at the start-finish line. Now it's Thornton 3 wide with Fisher in the middle and Kenneth Drake way down on the inside line. Less than 10 to go, by the way, as well. All this action going on, and you want it to keep going all night long, but it's a limited number of laps. Only 35 green flag laps. Is some contact exchange there in that 3-wide battle for third. Jason Freeman looking on, as right now he rides in 6th. Trapper has pulled away from Don MacArthur. Ooh, that's close there. Off of turn 2 between Thornton and Drake. They keep it together for the time being, as now Drake on that inside line looks like he might be losing not only third, but maybe another spot to Ethan Fisher. Not in that preferred line. Whoa! Someone back there. Was that Austin Allen? Almost got run over by Grant Wesley. As we move back up to the front. Nope, never mind. Caution's out. Brian Rubel and Austin Allen have gotten together. And that's over in 3 and 4. Another car on pit lane as well. I believe actually that was Mike Tellier's machine that just was blinking in pit road. go back and see what happened here to Rubel, who was running at the time, last I looked, in the 7th position. Oh, and he just goes around. Wow, that's a tough break there. He was in line for a 7th place finishing position. Look at how that car just fishtailing all the way down the back straightaway, and it finally comes around on him. Gets finished off by Austin Allen, the 27, and Allen's able to continue on. Rubel has to wait for all the oncoming traffic to go by. As a matter of fact, that was the race leader, Bobby Trapper, that went around him. Caution was already out, so I think Rubel is still on the lead lap. And that's going to set us up now for a shootout of, 4 laps to go. 4 laps remaining here, as looks like 7 of Seth Zacharias is actually going around. I think he might have been the lucky dog. So what's that going to give us? 12 drivers on the lead lap, and here we go. 4-lap shootout. Trapper looking for his league-leading 6th win on the season, and looking for 3 in a row. If it wasn't already determined here tonight that he was going to be the champion heading to next week at Charlotte, if he closes out this deal, I think, it's absolute lights out. Battle's going to be for 2nd place, 3-way battle. Don MacArthur, Billy Thornton, and Ethan Fisher, as Trapper works his way to the inside of the 7 of Seth Zacharias. He'll put him a lap down again. Actually puts him 2 laps down. Zacharias was 2 laps down when that caution came out, got 1 of those laps back, but didn't get around in time before that green flag came out for the restart. White flag in the air, 1 lap remaining. A very short lap here at the quarter-mile Fairbury, and win number 6 for Bobby Trapper, 3 in a row, and give this man a championship trophy already here tonight. Why do we even need to take the green flag at Charlotte? Well, we need to take the green flag so that way somebody can maybe finish out the season with a W, but Bobby Trapper, he might as well be hoisting that championship trophy here tonight. How about that? We talked with Bobby Trapper back during the first half of the season, and he said, I love the shorter tracks. Well, you can't get any shorter than Fairbury. And Bobby Trapper, who was a multi-time winner last season, is going to be a multi-time winner here this season. 6th win on the year, and he has now gone 3 in a row at Knoxville, last week at Lima Land, and here tonight at Fairbury Speedway. Take a look at the finishing results here tonight. Trapper with the win. Don MacArthur brings it home 2nd. Billy Thornton, after the hard luck last week at Lima Land, good comeback run for him in 3rd. Kenneth Drake right there in 4th. And Ethan Fisher, seems like every race that he runs in, he is kind of a dark horse out there to keep an eye on. He stayed up in the top 5 all night and snags that 5th finishing position. Jason Freeman had to work his way from the back of the pack, picked up 10 spots during the course of this race from 16th to 6th. Grant Wesley in 7th. James Allen in 8th, Brian Rubel 9th, and Austin Allen completed the top 10. 11th place, 1 lap down was Zaneberg Jr. Thomas Oleski finished 2 laps down. Seth Zacharias, I believe, spun coming out of turn 4, coming to receive the white flag, so he actually fell another lap down to 13th. Bobby Puckett, Tony Lucarelli, Garrett Gleason, and Mike Tellier, they did not make it to the start-finish line to complete this race. They finished multiple laps down here this evening. Well, we're going to be talking with our top 3 in just a moment, but Bobby Trapper, look at the tracks that he's been able to win at so far this season. Volusia and Kokomo to start out the year, races 1 and 2. Then middle of the season, he goes victory lane at Williams Grove, and as mentioned now, 3 in a row in 3 of the last 4 races. Knoxville, Lima Land, and here tonight at Fairbury, and maybe looking for he's got the whipped cream on the Sunday here tonight, maybe looking for that cherry on top to pick up the win next week at the Charlotte Dirt Track and ice this championship, which at this point, coming into tonight, he already pretty much had, but even more so, has a vice grip on it with his victory here tonight at Fairbury Speedway. Let's see if we can talk with our top 3 finishers. Let's kick things off with our 3rd place finisher, Billy Thornton. Hey, Billy, it's Seth up here in the FRN booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Seth.
Well, man, I'll tell you what, coming in tonight, just watching you guys out there in practice, one of the things that I observed was being such a short track, it didn't look like there was a whole lot of room to race. Boy, you guys proved me wrong. 3 and 4 wide at the initial start of this event, but it just kind of looked like here tonight, options were somewhat limited in where you could pass because the top side seemed to be the place everybody wanted to be, the faster way around the racetrack.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty fast up there. It's just tough. I mean, that wall sucks you right in, but it was definitely faster than the bottom. Bottom started coming in though towards the end. It's just tough track. It's fun.
Yeah, talk about, you're talking about that the wall kind of sucks you in, and we saw a couple of drivers have issues with that even as early on as the heat races. But then you go down too far on the inside line, we saw a couple of drivers clip those tires down there. So, how difficult is it to approach these corners, especially when you're in the middle of a three wide situation, knowing that there's pretty much obstructions on the inside and outside line of this track that will get you if you're not looking?
Yeah, you just gotta if you're on the bottom, you gotta stay there. That's all. I mean, it is between the Uke tires on the bottom and then the banking. When you get up real low on that hub, it gets the car hopping and it wants to put you around. But yeah, it's definitely a challenging track. But I don't know. We got out of it alive, I guess.
Well, he certainly did, and obviously a bit of hard luck. Well, not hard luck, but had a little bit of ups and downs last week at Lima Land. You were able to still pick up another spot in the point standings, third coming into tonight, and with next week being the double points at Charlotte and coming off the momentum of third place, what do you think? Maybe try and battle that 71 for second in the overall standings.
Yeah, I hope so. Hopefully, we'll be able to make it next week and give him a run. He's pretty good. Can he gets around real well.
All right, well, Billy, congratulations on surviving the mayhem here tonight here at Fairbury. We're going to give the opportunity now for some thank you sponsors and shoutouts.
I'd just like to thank Master Millwright for sponsoring the series and all the guys uh, between Rubel, Freeman, and Garrett, the work they put into it, getting everybody here and keep it going. But thanks, guys, and to you guys for streaming it, broadcasting it, and doing a great job. Thanks.
Well, that's Billy Thornton, third place here tonight at Fairbury. Once again, congratulations, Billy, and maybe we'll see you park this number 11 in Victory Lane, the season finale next week at Charlotte.
Hopefully. Thanks, but
Let's see now if we can get our second place finisher, and it looks like we may not have him available. I believe he just exited the session, so unfortunately we can't talk with the former winner, Don MacArthur, but we can talk with tonight's winner, 3 in a row for Bobby Trapper. Hey, Bobby, it's Seth up here in the FRM booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Seth.
All right, well, man, I'll tell you what. We look back at last season. You guys only ran 6 races on the schedule. You went to victory lane in 5 of them, 5 in a row. Here tonight, though, you're able to accomplish in a much more elongated schedule 3 wins in a row, going back to Knoxville last week at Lima Land and now here tonight at Fairbury. I mean, we already knew you had the championship locked up, but it just kind of seems like that doesn't faze you. You still come into these races with that win mentality.
Really lucky finishing third in the heat race, which put me up front here and just kept her clean.
Yeah, talk about those heat races, because is there a way as a driver to kind of strategize getting a certain type of finish in the heat races to set you up for good starting track position at a track like this? Because as we saw, especially early on in this one and also in those heat races as well, kind of difficult to pass.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to play the handicap, you definitely could, because if you finish third, you'll get reverted to the front of the field for the feature. But I was definitely trying to win it, just to try to win every heat race for the points or just for the fun of racing. But yeah, the track was very one lane in the heat race. Top was fast and really wasn't much room to pass.
Now, we talked about the heading into the second half of this season of the schedule. You already had 3 wins. If we go back to Knoxville, we'll call that the ice cream. You're building the sundae here. We go to Lima Land last week. That's the hot fudge sundae. Here tonight, that's the whipped cream. How about the cherry on top? Do you finish out the schedule not only with a championship, but put that cherry on top with 4 wins in a row next week with the double points at Charlotte?
Yeah, hopefully we'll have to see. I know Charlotte's a bigger track, and that's usually not as well suited to me. I'm definitely better on these small tracks like tonight, but definitely need to give it a try and finish up there in the front again.
All right, well, Bobby, we've talked with you for the last 2 weeks. Once again, congratulations on another outstanding performance here tonight. You know what's coming. We're turning the microphone over to you. Let you do some thank you sponsors and shout-outs.
Yeah, I thank Master Millwright and TNR and Garrett, Brian, Jason, all the guys that run the series, Billy at Thornton Graphics, and everyone else that does it, and you guys for broadcasting it. It's been a lot of fun racing every week.
That's Bobby Trapper. 3 wins in a row here heading into the season finale. His 6th win on the season so far in the TNR Master Millwright Big Block Series. Congratulations, Bobby. Looking forward to watching you next week. Watch you close this thing out with the championship.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good night.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you want to talk about domination, you cannot look any further than the driver of the 69 machine. With what he was able to do here tonight, he will be heading into a double point situation next week at Charlotte Dirt Track with triple-digit intervals between himself and everybody else because of the points he was able to rack up in the heat race as well as this win here tonight. The closest competitor to him, Kenneth Drake, right now with where he finished, more than likely is going to be somewhere in the vicinity of 100, 101 points behind him. There's just no way, even with double points next week, that he is going to lose this championship, talking about Bobby Trapper. The only way I think he possibly could do that is if he didn't get any points in his heat race, and if maybe, I don't know, 25, 20, 30 cars showed up next week, and he finished dead last. So Bobby Trapper, picking him up, putting him down. The gauntlet's been thrown down. Nobody else has been able to answer the call. Bobby Trapper will be your champion when the checkered flag waves next week at the dirt track at Charlotte. But will he be able to pick up win number 7 and win number 4 in a row to close out the year? We'll have to wait and see. Or will somebody else be able to get their first checkered flag of the season to close out this year? Thanks to everybody that tuned in tonight. Hope that you guys enjoyed our coverage under the lights at Fairbury. Matthew Rodriguez is going to join me in the booth next week as we'll bring you the season finale of the TNR Master Millwright Big Block Series at the Charlotte Dirt Track. We'll see you guys next Tuesday night. Green flag scheduled to fly at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of the Flatout Racing Network.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of Flatout Racing Network and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of Flatout Racing Network and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. Flatout Racing Network would like to thank you for your support